Hey, what up, bro? So this one is kind of something I haven't really shared with anybody. And you're probably like, oh, well, I don't even know who you are. Well, I'm Zook, and I help men create killer morning and evening routines so they can smash their goals. And I want you to know that you need to start with where you're at. And there are going to be things that could be from your past that affect you presently. And you need to be careful where you let your mind go, because your actions will very soon, they will follow. If they're not yet, then they will eventually follow. And you'll start creating new rhythms, habits, and systems that'll help you modify your life to kind of live in that doubt and that regret and that fear and that frustration. And you don't want that. And for so long, and this is the personal story, I don't even know if my wife knows this, but for like over 2 years, I think it was over 2 years, I did not get a haircut. Now, I wanted a haircut, and I did cut my hair. Notice I said I. And my professional hairstyling was kind of zero, so I'd always give myself a buzz cut. But I wanted something better, like what I have now. And it wasn't until recently, a few months ago, I jumped into a group, and I was so encouraged by this group that, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go get my haircut. And let me tell you why I didn't get my haircut. It's mainly because I was a cheapskate. My wife, at least at this point in our life, we've just been month to month. So I'm like, well, I'll just cut my hair and be cheap. And because I didn't like my hairstyle, and I really, I just felt really good when I had a haircut, I didn't have a lot of confidence in my appearance, and especially when I'd be talking to other people. Now, I'm not talking about like doing sales calls or whatever. I'm just talking about in general. Like, I just felt like basic Joe with a basic buzz cut. and I'm like, I want to be more than just basic Joe. I want to be awesome Zook. And for any of you who actually know me, I'm really out there. Just with my humor and my energy, and my daughter definitely takes takes a lot after me. Yeah, she's a big risk taker. And that's what we need to do sometimes in life. Okay, healthy risks. But, I was encouraged by, I don't know, this verse doesn't really relate to the haircut, but I just want you to know we all have our stories, even if they're silly or seem silly to us, but it's somebody else that can hit home. Because I know that there are other people out there, might even be you, broski, that, you're battling with your worth, with your actual value, like with your bank account because it's so low. You don't want to get a haircut. Maybe you don't even want to go out with friends, and you're looking at something off the dollar menu or something like that. But bro, just look at that as a phase, because that's all it is a phase of life. And you will be rewarded for your hard work when you start to, for one, step into your purpose. Because when you're in your purpose and you are taking action daily, start gaining momentum. Now, in the beginning, it's not probably going to be financially, but over time, you're going to start developing skills that'll help align with your purpose. And then eventually, which is what I really, really push a lot of people to do, and I believe we should all work for ourselves. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't work for somebody. I think in the beginning, it's very helpful. If you want to, learn a trade, like be a carpenter, maybe be a designer, be a creator making video content, then you need to kind of job shadow somebody before you figure out if that's what you really want to do. And in the beginning, it's going to be frustrating because you're going to have way more questions than answers. And most of the time, the people who you are shadowing should definitely be those you look up to, and will give you constructive criticism, but will also show you things and shortcuts along the way. And as well, there are plenty of other YouTube channels out there as well. So just don't look into too much information, because then you will get information overload, and it can set you back. I mean, that happened to me. It set me back years, because I'd be so overwhelmed, and it would cause me to be so stressed, and then it would lead me to be anxious, and then I would not, because this YouTube channel has been in the works for years and years, even though I just started it, I don't know, not that long ago. But I just want you to be encouraged, and that's why it's so important. You're careful in those you spend time around. And I'm going to say that in a lot of videos, because I really need to engrave that in your head. Because I didn't really have a lot of people saying that to me. But it's so important. You're the top 5 people you spend the most time around. regardless if you start to notice or not. So just be very careful. And you have to start setting boundaries. Boundaries are a must if you want to grow. And I mean, Jesus he set quite a bit of boundaries. And dude set the standard for godly living. Well, for one, he is God. And yeah, sorry, I keep rubbing my nose, man, allergies. Yeah, and it's just so important. We don't overlook those might seem little things, but boundaries and those we spend time around, will matter. Let me share this verse with you. John 16:33. In the world you will have tribulation, but take heart, I have overcome the world. Now, that is one that you should definitely memorize. You should memorize a lot of scripture. The best way to combat the enemy who is against you, who first knows how to attack the mind, he knows how to use scripture. Definitely in all the deceptive ways possible. And he has eons of experience. I don't even know how long that is, but that's a really long time. But he knows how people work inside and out. So just remember, if you really want to defeat the enemy, don't be like, and this hurts to say, but don't be like the stereotypical American Christian who just says, oh yeah, I'm a Christian, but they barely know their Bible. And they take in all these other opinions and thoughts from others who aren't even Christian, or who use scripture to benefit their own lives. And then they manipulate these weak-minded Christians, man. You are not weak. You are bold. You are capable. You are strong. And you are a go-getter, man, for the word. And you need to go out there and just be the example of Christ. And you can do that through sharing verses, because those can be encouragement. They can literally change someone's life, even though it might be a few words. Look, there's even the shortest verse in the Bible. I don't know what it is, but Jesus wept. So there's no excuse not to memorize. I want to break that verse down a little bit. So this took place whenever he was trying to encourage his disciples during the Last Supper. And he was acknowledging impending persecution while guaranteeing ultimate victory. Now remember, there are going to be times in your life where you're going to feel like, you have failed. You are not where you should be. But a lot of the time, bro, we need to set aside the woe is me and step into a kind of like a different light, a different perspective, and view our lives where we're at from the outside in, kind of like peeking in through a house. And it's not going to be creepy because it's the house of your life. And you don't need to let, don't go get other like feedback and stuff from other people. This will be simple. You're at where you are in life because of, could be a lot of bad choices you made, whether they be financially, whether they be with relationships. Maybe it's because you moved to a new location. Maybe it's because you got a job that people told you not to do. You went to school, or you're still in school, and you don't like doing all the schoolwork, and you hate school. And dude, for one, if you are going to school, now if you're going to be a doctor or something like that, it's okay if you go to school. But at the end of the day, there's so much access on the internet, and you can take online courses that'll literally give you all the information you need, and it will be condensed, and you can wait, and you don't have to waste the years it takes to get that little piece of paper to put on your wall. Now, there are going to be people who will push you. It could be a sibling, maybe it could be a parent, maybe it could be a cousin, whoever, who say that, man, you need to go to college and get an education. Dude, that's bull. Not everybody does, especially if you're gonna, if it's a skilled trade. Now they have trade schools which are like shorter, but you can learn so much on YouTube, it's ridiculous. And then you can start working for somebody instead of just going to school. And you can work with somebody who might have been doing it for years and years and years, and they can give you, and they can educate you shortcuts, like legally shortcuts to help save you time and stuff. So, and then Jesus warns that suffering is inevitable in a broken world, but urges to take heart, which in other words is to be courageous. Because his sacrificial death and resurrection already conquered the sin that I especially have made, and the world's power over so many people. Too many people are living worldly. Too many Christians are living from a worldly perspective and following the pursuits and the desires of culture and what the world has to offer. Now, there's nothing bad with enjoying life and going to different cultures and having fun in culture, but bring Jesus into culture, into the world, into your nation, into your country, and you would be surprised in how it can make a massive change. And dude, I'm telling you, it can save not just lives, hear me out, not just lives, but souls. Souls are at stake. And whenever you view it from that perspective, because man, dude, when you think of eternity, I mean, you never truly understand it, I would say, until you've moved on from this world, because then you understand it. And I'm sure like you were downloaded with so much more information because your body and your mind can only take so much, but your soul and your spirit, they can handle more of it. But just imagine 1 billion years, and that's not even close to a second. Seconds don't even matter. Eternity is forever, bro. All right, I'm gonna jump off here, but I wanted to share that with you. And I want you to go out there and make today a great day and think about the things that I have said, because I know it can help. And I want you to share this with another brother who you think might need to hear it and like this, so it can also show up in other people's feed, so that, it can be a pick-me-up for them. All right, bro, catch you in the next video. Till then, enjoy this day, because God made it for you.